is unbelievably incredible. I'm just impressed every time I see him on camera. It's like, wow, just amazing. And he has no ego whatsoever. Folks, let's get this started. It is 8:35. That means we're going to kick it off. Today, we have got really a panel of just tremendous leaders with Debbie Latuga and Curtis Tyree, and of course, our very own Tom Martin. And I say that as they're all partners of ours, but Tom is kind of, I don't know, the big cheese from Boston. So, Tom, why don't I turn it over to you, let you run with it? Have a great day, guys.
First of all, I have no idea what you want me to say, George. I didn't even know I was going to be on this call this morning. So can you help me out and give me an idea? No, I'm kidding. That's kind of what I do to Curtis and Debbie, and they look at me and go, okay, let me just throw this out there. So, hey guys, just wanted to, first of all, what you're going to hear today from Coach Debbie, Curtis, and DJ is going to be absolutely amazing. I was talking to a young lady yesterday who said this to me. She said, I'm being recruited by another company. Can you give me some insight? We talked a little bit, and she said to me, I love you guys. And I said, okay, that's fine. Are you prepared for them to talk bad about us? She goes, I will not allow that. I said, well, that's exactly what they're going to do. And here's the thing. Tell me what we've done to help you get where you are today. And she said this. She said, if it wasn't for the GPS, I wouldn't be where I am today, because I was with a former brokerage and I was stuck only doing a few transactions a year. I'm changing my life. I'm changing my family's life. I'm not going to go too deep into anymore. And she said, I'm so excited that 2023 is coming so I can blah. So I said, Curtis, Debbie, how awesome would it be to really dig into this young lady and on this call that's going to bring golden nuggets to everyone. And I don't want to mess her name up, so I'll let Curtis mess her name up. So you guys are in for a treat today on this call, and I just want to just say a huge thank you to all those that went to Business Planning Clinic and workshop in South Florida. We have many more going on, and this will make a difference in your business. Curtis, Debbie, these it's all yours, and I'm going to keep track of the count.
Appreciate that, and thank you. And yes, we're going to get to Desiree, and I'm not certain about the last name, so I won't screw it up. We'll get it right. That's what we're going to do. George, the only thing I wanted to say about the videos, you've got a face built for radio. I'm just saying.
And by the way, it's not Desiree, it's
Darenika.
Oh, Darenika. My apologies. I saw Desiree in the chat. Perfect. It's going to be great, and we'll get there. And yet, you know, DJ, myself, and Deb were talking about lots of things this past week, and really want to get some input from you guys. You know, the first, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, we want to talk about investing in yourself and kind of what that looks like and some of the things you might be able to do going forward. And where that came from was I've been sharing with you, and again, don't go out and buy the book. I'm not suggesting it. I'll share as much as I can, and you're getting it as we meet every Friday, and even I think on George's call the other day. And I just wanted to share real quick before we got into it, because Deb and I and DJ were thinking, and we said, well, let's get their feedback. Let's see what they think. And, you know, hearing from you will then help everybody else. And so here's what it says. And I got to the chapter, and it says, invest in yourself, right? And so I thought this was great. And so it says, selling during volatile times is brutal. You said facebacks, frustrations, failure, and unending rejection, panicked customers, unscrupulous competitors, unrelenting pressure to perform, along with massive stress, comes from protecting your family and your finances. These issues will negatively impact your mental and physical well-being, will eventually bring you down if you don't take steps to invest in yourself, your mind, your body, and your spirit. In a crisis, maintaining a positive attitude, health, and physical stamina are as important as anything you do. It is the key to mental resilience and toughness. Make a firm commitment to build your knowledge and skills through daily professional reading, audiobooks, podcasts, and online training. Strengthen your physical well-being by getting enough sleep, eating a healthy diet, and exercising every day. protect your mindset by controlling what you allow in, and you're surrounding yourself with the right people. Well, friends, I think we do surround ourselves with the right people on this telephone call. And yet Deb and I were talking and wanted to hear from you. What else might a successful agent do right now to invest in yourself? And that's an open live question. And Bueller? No, I'm just kidding. Anybody knows Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right? Bueller? No, just kidding.
So what do you do to take care of yourself? I see Pierre's got his hand up. Have a schedule. Deborah says have a schedule and stick to it. Great.
Time to get uncomfortable and do things that we've been afraid of. The fear
Yeah.
is holding us back.
Yeah.
Time to go.
Yep, for sure. And you're, by the way, we're all uncomfortable and we're all doing things that we haven't done before. And yet you're in the right place to be with a peer group who's willing to tackle those uncomfortable feelings. Fantastic. George, I see Lizette first.
Yeah, I think so important that we time block, especially now that we're in business planning. We plan first our vacations. If you need therapy time. If you're a mother, you some alone time in the sense of without the kids. Do a girlfriend's trip on the weekend, maybe have once a year, things like that. To do self-care. Because we need moments alone as well, or, out of the routine as well to be able to going back to the normal routine of everybody around us.
Yeah, I love that. Awesome. George?
Well, what Lizette and Pierre said are spot on. I think that we're at that point in our in the year where we need to know our numbers, meaning what is our goal? What are we looking to accomplish this year so we can reverse engineer it? And that's thank you. Claire's got hers right in front of her. I'm just so committed to the idea that if you know why you're doing it and you know what you want to accomplish and really why you want to accomplish it, you can apply some internal leverage and get far greater results than you can just willing it to happen.
Yeah, I see Tom there. Yeah, knowing why you're doing it, right? Because it's not that it's going to be tough in the next year. It's just going to be different. And we're going to have to be successful differently. So it's going to feel different. For some of us, it's going to be tough. And so making sure that you know why you're doing it. In fact, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. And I love that also, Lizette, spending time in contemplation, spiritual meditation, whatever you want to call it, spending some quiet time every day will help you recharge for sure. Melissa, do you have something that you do?
I do. I'm driving on a busy highway. First of all, I want to say thank you guys for showing up. And for those of you who have not attended Curtis and Deb's class, it's absolutely amazing. I loved Grit and I highly recommend it. But for me, as far as every morning giving gratitude for my clients and thinking about the day past and then the day ahead and setting intentions for how I want my day and what I want it to look like. That has really been beneficial. And the interesting thing about it is every time I tap into it, my day turns out better than I could have expected. And calling in new clients and giving gratitude, it's amazing.
It is. It's a great lead generation strategy too, right? Just calling people and thanking them with no expectation usually can provide some business opportunities as well. I see Kara put in the chat, motivation isn't enough. Discipline is what it takes when motivation gets scarce, and it will. Chris and Daryl, not sure, both are separate. Making sure you take some soul-filling downtime, fill your spirits up. Kara also said set boundaries. I love that. Execute your plans, Claire said, and be willing to fail forward. Yeah, fantastic. DJ.
I just want to share real quickly that I was talking to a title company executive yesterday, and he was telling me that before he did this, he was a recruiter for a large company that did professional recruiting. And he said that one of their employees always did like over $300,000 in sales, regardless of when it was between 1975 and 1995. And we all know, those of us that look back, that was real, there were some really hard times in there. And what she said is that she told him when he asked, how do you continue to make that kind of money and be so successful? And she said, when times are good, I work 30 hours a week. When times are bad, I work 80 hours a week. Right? And so that's kind of where it comes to, how much are you willing to do to get what you want?
Love that.
Yeah. Curtis, there were some things on the list. Use your support lines, Pierre says, to ask questions, ask for help, and set your goals. Holly said you can get super motivated, read the books, therapy, mindset, hypnosis, and yet your self-discipline can remain garbage.
So I've heard a couple of things that are kind of the theme, and well, these, by the way, are all incredible ideas. One of the things that Deb, you, myself, and DJ were talking about, because we were on that other call, because Kara just said it, setting boundaries and sticking to them. I'm thinking, it makes me immediately think of how important time blocking was. And I don't know if you guys remember, but the leader that we were on the phone with shared their calendar and how disciplined they were with their calendar. Like, it was incredible. Made me stop and think, like, man, I gotta get better at this, because it's about doing the right things and then preserving my energy, right? And staying focused and in my lane with what serves us best. And because it's just way too easy to be all over the place. So I love that. I trust that Kara was going there with that. That brings it, that kind of hit me. That's hit me.
Yeah. Jacopo, I see your hand up.
Good morning to everybody. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, everybody. Nothing. What I think I want to share is like my personal idea. It's like to have like a beautiful strategy in your life. You need to start to create like really inner self. And how I first of all, how I create my inner self. I do meditation, pray. I do biohacking. Biohacking is something, I don't know if you guys know, is a new discipline where give you with a device like this one, you use in your mind. You use like, is a headphone where you put in your face, and this kind of device give you, neurologic information where you receive like, from over here light, and over here in the other light, and you're listening like a voice of people. And I think in the morning it's so important to starting do this meditation, pray, biohacking, and exercise, because give you the starting jumping the day, and to be organized with a really setting plan, okay, for me.
Yeah, that's so true. And when times get challenging, taking care of yourself, your mindset, your body, we all know the importance of sleep, and that's the first thing that goes when we get busy, but really making sure that not only are my actions changing to deal with what's happening in the market, but I'm also hyper focused on being good to myself and taking care of myself and getting enough rest and eating healthy food. It can be really easy to kind of go off the rails. And if you're not sleeping well, you're not eating well, you're not moving your body, you're not praying or meditating, you're not listening to motivational things, the work can crash in on you as a human. But if you're doing those things as well, it makes the work easier, right? So I love that. Yeah. And it sounds like a lot of you have some sort of practice already where you are taking good care of yourself. Claire says, making subtle corrections to our mindset, skill set, and habits. What portions of our profession fill our tanks, right? So that we can push through the fatigue. This, I think the reason we all show up here, the reason I show up here, I feel better after this call. I feel like I have possibility. I have feel like I can do things. I feel like I'm with a group of people who are all rowing the boat in the same direction because we all want to grow. We all want to get better. And I'm here because I leave these calls with that. I leave these calls with hope and possibility and renewed commitment. And that's why I think 90% of us are here, is because these calls, these morning calls, do that for us, right? They give us an injection of motivation to keep going because we hear other people are struggling with the same things that we are, right? Cool.
So Deb, we hit, and I just share real quick. So we hit all of the points, right? It was, blocking time, on your calendar for professional reading. I think somebody said that. Getting sleep, going to bed early, balanced diet, don't skip breakfast, all these things, exercise, so on and so forth. And then all the other incredible things that people said. Here, my friends, is why it's so very important. This is the last thing that it says. And this is why I wanted to share it with you. It says, investing in yourself will make you stronger, faster, and smarter. It opens your mind to new ideas and new possibilities, and it gives you the winning edge in any economic environment. That's why.
Super. Yeah. And you guys all nailed it, right? You all are aware that this other part of our business, right? Us as humans is important to pay attention to as well during these shifting times. Curtis, the other thing, and DJ, that we were talking about is really about goals. And I love it. And I didn't pay George to say that, but he mentioned it, right? Knowing why you're doing what you're doing, it really is going to help in any challenges or bumps or shifting market that we address. From the book again, right? Curtis, you want to talk about a couple of the things in chapter 12?
Sure, thanks. I mean, we don't need to read it, but it talks about, I just echoed. It was weird hearing the echo, sorry. It talks about, and I don't know if you guys saw my quote that I put up or shared with you guys first thing this morning, and it's because that's in there. And it says, desire is the starting point of all achievement, not a hope, not a wish, but a keen pulsating desire, which transcends everything. And that was from Napoleon Hill. And so it goes on to further, and it talks about having clarity. And once we get clarity, then we can have the discipline to plan it out and, of course, move forward. And so it talks about identifying what you want, and then identifying a plan on how do you plan on getting what you want. And then, of course, the how bad do you want it? And that part is really about commitment. But you can't have commitment if you haven't gained clarity about what it is you want to begin with. And then what is the plan in order to get that in which I want? Now, what we talked about, Deb.
Yeah, for sure. And so listen, hey, so we kind of set this up in advance, and we want to just have an experience for y'all. We want to actually do a live coaching conversation. And Darenika has volunteered. I spoke with her yesterday, has volunteered. And we want to do it live, kind of walk through so that you can kind of see. But here's the thing that I want to share with you before we kind of start that. As I'm having this conversation with Darenika, I want you to act like I'm asking you these questions, right? So in your head, I want you to answer the questions like I was asking it directly for you. So although I'm speaking just to one person, it's really designed for all of you to do the same reflections. Now, here's the other thing in a coaching conversation that's really important. There can be a lot of silence in a coaching conversation. So I might ask Darenika a question and she might be thinking about the answer. And here's the challenge when you do this in a group environment is that everybody on the call is going to want to jump in and help Darenika answer the question. So I'm going to ask you to do Darenika a favor and do yourselves a favor and not jump in, right? If she's thinking about an answer or struggling, let her come up with the answer, but listen, you should be coming up with the answer as well. So don't jump in and volunteer or help. It is our nature, and you might think you're doing that. So I'm going to ask you to just kind of reflect on the questions as well and let Darenika come up with the answer. Now, this is a safe space. This is not going to be difficult. This is not going to make anybody uncomfortable. However, it is going to give Darenika and you an opportunity to experience a coaching conversation and someone make sure Tom stays muted. Can we take Tom off of the, Tom, don't, okay, good. That was Kara, just not throwing you under the bus. Hey, listen, we all like to talk, right? So it's easy for us to kind of volunteer. So this is a great experience, and I'm going to ask you to kind of go along with it. So let me ask you a question. Darenika, can you unmute?
Yes.
Awesome.
Good
So
morning.
thank you so much for volunteering. This is great. Are you driving?
I'm parked right now.
Okay, good.
And I'm gonna stay parked.
Good. Good. So we talked a little bit yesterday about what your goal is. So can you just share again? Now, I don't care if it's the goal for the end of 2022 or if it's the goal for 2023. And you shared with me it was next year's goal. So what was that goal?
So my goal for 2023 is to have 20 listings and 20 buyers.
20 listings and 20 buyers. And can you share with me why that's an important goal with you?
Honestly, I'm just trying to outwork myself this year. So I'm on track to complete almost 20 plus goals. So I feel that I have to double that. Right now I'm at 4.2 million, and I should end the year over 5. So I just want to continue to double my business.
Yeah, fantastic. Hey, that's great. I love that. So let me ask you a second question. How do you plan to get that? Like, what do you have a strategy for achieving that double your goal?
I've been doing a lot of marketing. So my first investments was I bought billboards, and I've been getting a return on that investment already. And I've been doing a lot of mailers. I do want to get into buying like a Legion, like for the phones, Vulcan 7, and just spend some time. But as I was telling Robert, I want to make sure that I'm committing to being on the phone for that amount of hours before I say it doesn't just work, because I do know you have to be committed to calling.
Yeah. And with your goal, I heard you say some marketing activities. And so my question is, what sort of prospecting activities have you zeroed in on what your daily activities might look like in order to hit that goal?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, right? That's a not yet. That's not no, that's a not yet. Because our experience as coaches is very often as agents, we'll set goals, double your goal, right? And that's a common goal for agents to have. And what we know is that there tends to be a gap in that goal and the activities. And you're doing some of them, right? You've increased your marketing towards the end of this year by buying billboards and things like that. And yet for agents to actually hit their goals, we recognize that there has to be an action plan, right? An actual specific daily action plan. So and I heard you mention it a little bit, you were thinking about the Vulcan as an opportunity. So if you were going to purchase a dialer, have you strategized who the calls might be going to if you were actually going to be using the dialer?
No, I didn't even think that far.
Yeah. So if you were going to use a dialer, who do you think you would call?
I want to call expireds. For sale by owners, it's kind of a little tricky because they think they can really sell their home, and some do and some don't. So expireds and cancels.
Expireds and cancels. So let me ask you, for your skill level for expireds, where would you rate your skill level from? I am 100% confident that I have the skill to call expireds, or that's a skill that I need to develop. Where would you fall in that range?
That's a skill that I have to develop. I've been watching a lot of people on YouTube, who cold call just to get like the language that they're using to get the people to stay on the phone with them. And that's why I haven't really bought Vulcan 7, because I don't want it to be a waste.
Yeah,
it can get urgent, like if you're getting contacts, but then you can't keep the people on the phone, it's like, it's a waste.
yeah. And then let me ask you a question. So do you think calling expireds is a
Oh my
skill?
God. Are you kidding me?
Maria, yeah, thank you. Do you think calling expireds is a learnable skill?
Yeah, I do. Mhm.
Yeah. So let me ask you a second question. Do you think calling for sale by owners is a learnable skill?
Yeah, you have to find the right skill though.
Yeah. Put it this way. Do you know anyone that calls for sale by owners and uses that to build their business?
No.
No, not yet. I would
Not-
argue there's people probably on this call that are actually doing that. So I would argue that there's probably people that you know that are doing that. So let me ask another question. With that dialer, have you considered using that dialer to also call through your database of people that you already have a relationship with?
I call them off my personal number, but I have a good relationship with like all of like my past clients. I stay in contact with them.
Yeah.
Just like family and friends.
Yeah. So do you think using Vulcan might help you be more efficient in building relationships with the people that you have? You have good relationships. I'm just curious if, you know, you could expand the opportunity of using Vulcan in a wider environment than just expireds. Would it make you more efficient in reaching out to the people that you already know?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're in the process of building a plan. Let me ask you a third question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to doubling your goal? If 10 is no matter what, I am committed and I'm going to do whatever it takes, or somewhere in between. And listen, there's no judgment on whatever that number is. It's about getting awareness about where you are so that you can create a plan moving forward.
It's probably over 10 because I want to do 40 deals next year.
So you are really, really committed
I'll
to
do
whatever it takes.
Exactly.
So if that's the case, why is that goal important to you? So you said it's a 10, it's a do or die, no matter what, I'm going to figure this out. Why is doubling your goal important to you?
Honestly, I don't want to go back to work. Corporate America kind of like abused me mentally. And I don't want to go back and work for anybody. I enjoy doing real estate. I have more time for my kids. I also own a game bus, so I get to run that and be present and, you know, meet different people there as well. I don't want to go back to work. And, you know, just to see the money I made this year, I want to double that.
Yeah. So yeah, Ruth said she doesn't want to go back to work either. So let me ask you another question. What happens if you don't hit the 40?
I think I would be devastated, probably beat myself up and just kind of see like where I went wrong. Cause I thought when I was with a boutique brokerage, I used to look at the heavy hitters, like top producers, like, man, how are they closing so many deals? And I used to think it was impossible. But then when I worked so hard this year, I was like, it's not hard. You just have to like really work this thing and stay on top of the business.
Yeah. So you sound really committed to this goal, because the consequence could be going back to work, or it will be personal devastation, right? That you set this big goal. So let me ask you a question. With that big goal, on a how important do you think it's going to be to have a really great plan to hit that goal?
Oh, it's going to be extremely important. I was like, even if I just buy Vulcan, because and just, you know, just go through the motions. I was like, hey, at least I'm dialing every day.
Right. You're taking action every day. What else besides dialing every day do you think will help you hit your goal?
I always heard them say the money is in the mail. So I've been doing like monthly newsletters to subdivisions I do want to target. And then also I am going to start walking neighborhoods, getting out. In the summertime, I want to start having like maybe like ice cream socials for like the kids once a month, and just to get like the neighbors together. Just doing like little activities so people realize that I am a realtor.
Yeah. So let me ask you another question. What, at what point are you going to get this plan down on paper?
I can do it this weekend.
Because, you know, a goal without a plan is just a wish. I don't know who said that, right? And you have a great committed goal. And yet in order to achieve any goal, you're going to need a plan, a workable plan. And I'm talking about on Monday morning, this is what I'm going to do, because otherwise it just becomes a wish.
Mm-hmm.
So when you create that plan, what's your strategy for making sure that it's a good plan? Like, how will you know that that plan is a plan that's going to get you to your goal?
That's a great question. I'll probably call Robert and run it by him. Like, Robert, does this sound achievable?
That was the answer I was looking for, right? In other words, I can make a plan, but if I don't have the experience to know what plan is going to help me get there, then having my plan reviewed by somebody else that is experienced can help me make sure that I have a good plan. And so then let me ask you one last question. When do you intend to execute on that plan? When will you start?
Honestly, I was thinking like November 1st. I have a bunch of mailers that I'm going out to like 7 different subdivisions. I already have them prepped. So going the mail out. And then I just really have to get over the fear of like Vulcan 7. I think I just have to go through the motions.
So November 1st.
Mm-hmm.
You all heard that, right? You all heard November 1st. Right. And I love that. Here's what I love about that answer. You didn't say January 1st, right? You didn't say in order for us to be in gear to start hitting our goals next year, we need to start now executing on that plan. So you said you still had a fear of the Vulcan 7. What strategy are you going to use around overcoming that fear?
Just knowing, like, in the back of my mind, like, everybody faces rejection. It is what it is. Either they want to work with you, they want to sell, or they're not. You just got to keep following up, and you just got to go to the next call. It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Yeah. Are they rejecting you, or are they rejecting the opportunity to meet?
I don't know. I haven't even started cold calling.
But what would you guess?
I think it's the opportunity to meet.
I think it's the opportunity to meet, right? They're saying not now.
Right.
In the calls that you've watched on YouTube, do people call an expired back a second time?
Of course they do.
Yeah. And do they then get an appointment scheduled?
Yeah, they do.
So then does that mean, are they rejecting you, or are they rejecting the opportunity to meet?
The opportunity to meet.
If they were rejecting you, you would never be able to call somebody back and get an appointment, right? Correct. So it really is the mindset of it's an opportunity to grow my skill, and they're saying no, they don't want to meet yet. Not now. I don't want to have this conversation now. So my last question, Darenika, and thank you so much for being so forthcoming and so willing to share this. My last question is, do you think having an accountability partner would help you hit your goals?
Maybe.
Do you think let me ask you a question. Do you think the right accountability partner would help you hit your goals?
Yes, the right one. Like, yeah. They working as hard as me though. I don't want to like a slacker or someone's like, oh, it's okay. Like, no, I know that I need to get up and work this.
Yeah, you know,
I heard that. We're good.
I've
We're
had a lot
accountable.
of experience with accountability partners, and sometimes you have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to find the one that's going to show up on every call and take the actions that they want to take. And yet having that accountability partner, someone that is checking in with you to see if your actions match your goals, right? Did you take the actions you say you were going to take? Listen, thank you so much, Darenika, for sharing. Can I get everybody to give Darenika a round of applause? Thank you so much. Now let me ask a question to all of you. Were you able to walk through that conversation with yourself, or what was your aha from watching that little mini coaching call?
Pierre's got his hand
Oh,
up.
Pierre?
Darenika, I know you're still here, and I know we have some very lofty goals. And I'm going to say this like I've said it to you every single week. We know what our plan is. And if you do not achieve the goal that you set out, we already know that this is not anything that's going to harm yourself or your family. We set a very lofty goal to go after because we wanted it to be hard. We want to try to push harder than we ever have to achieve greatness.
Awesome. And I think I heard you pipe up, Pierre, that you're already her accountability partner.
Yes, she calls me, texts me. I'm in frequent contact with quite a few agents here.
Fantastic.
I think it's important as a sponsor that we should be here to truly sponsor them, to really be part mentor and really be accountable to ourselves because we brought them here. So we want them to be successful. We should put everything we can into it.
Yeah. And I love that, Pierre. I also know that some agents might be newer and their skill level may not be where some of the seasoned agents are. So even if you are sponsoring someone and you don't have the skill to be able to help them, then this group, there's someone above you or next to you or near you that can also help your people be successful if you haven't developed that skill yet. So any other ahas from watching that coaching conversation?
So Deb, I'm not sure how to say the name, but Srikanth had your hand up. Love for you to talk. I know you took your hand down, but if you have that, if you still like to say something, love to hear from you. Srikanth? I can't say that. I'm sorry. That was probably terrible.
I was just trying to clap.
Oh, you were.
All right.
Sorry, yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out.
It's Zoom. We'll figure it out someday. It's all good.
Thank you.
I think I unmuted myself, so you guys are stuck. Of course I struggle. I just don't quit. I love that, Pierre. What I seen there was what Debbie pulled out of Darenika, hopefully I said it properly, was her why. She was digging deep enough to understand what was important to her, because when you ask someone what their goal is and move on to the next question, you really don't care. When you dig deeper into their why, it opens them up. And then I heard her say, there is no option to quit. I'm going to do it, right? So now her commitment level has grown higher. Her accountability is there. So I believe that she's going to accomplish all of her goals. And here's again, it goes back to Debbie digging into her why. That to me is where I feel that people miss the opportunity to get where they want to go, because nobody's helping them dig deeper enough into their why. So it's easy for them to not do the things they need to do to get where they want to go, because they don't even know why. But when you dig deep and they write it down and they start getting emotional, I think that's extremely important. There's always an emotion at the very bottom there somewhere. We just have to find it.
And that's a great tip for your clients as well, right? Finding out why they want to sell, but really why, or why they're thinking about it, or why they want to buy. Because logic makes them think and emotion makes them act, right? You can't logic someone into, you can bring all the stats and talk about the interest rates and show them all the data. But if you've not tapped into why they're thinking of buying or selling right now, you will struggle to move them forward with just logic. What other ahas did you have from that conversation?
Debbie,
Hi, Dina.
hi. I heard that she was really giving you her plan of action. And you dug deep with her with the questions of exactly what are you going to do? And that there's a lot involved, like there's skill, there's account, you have to do the hours and the numbers. And I'm going through this too myself. So I thought that was really good as a coach, because you dug deep with her, not only on her why, as Tom said, which is very, very important, but it's also important how. And so, you know, you got to know the how and then she has to, of course, if you are her coach in real life, she has to be accountable to you and show that she is actually doing the action. Yeah,
I love that. A couple things Claire said. Coaching is totally different than being a mentor and a trainer. Coaching has to do with digging in to a person's psyche to figure out what's going on or what's holding them back from hitting their goal. Certainly training is important. You guys have training, right? You've got, Joe is always sharing what's your opportunity to grow your skill. And yet coaching helps you identify your goals, identify your actions, and then get into action. And then if your actions aren't matching your goals, figuring out what to do to overcome them. Digging deeper, Claire says, into their why, and are they self-aware with their words is more powerful than someone telling them what to do. Thanks, Tom. Identify the consequence of missing the mark. And then Claire said, yes, Holly, this is vital. The pain makes us move. What's going to happen if you don't hit the goal? And you heard Darenika say, I don't want to go back to work. I don't want to go back to corporate. I don't want to, go back to that pain. So she was very clear about why she's doing what she's doing and how important it is to her. Rue says, I guess it depends. Pierre has helped me prepare myself in this market and has been actively helping me be successful and showed me different aspects on how to get to my goal. Fantastic. Any other ahas from that conversation? Let me ask, also someone telling her no is not them saying no to her, but to the opportunity. Thanks, Steph. Let me ask what your experience was. Were you able to use those questions for yourself? And did you have any realizations about your vision related to watching that coaching conversation? Jacopo, I see your hand up.
Yes, I think so. Like, how is really powerful what you do. Nice lady, I don't remember, sorry, the name. You really, is important for us when we started to feel out our comfort zone. And it means I feel it, and the lady, she will make for sure her goal, because she feel it, she feel afraid about something. When you don't feel afraid, that you are in your comfort zone. For this reason, it's so beautiful how you explain, how you ask this question. Why, Deborah? Because when you don't have nothing, okay, you need, you want to do it. When you started to arrive at a certain level in life, everybody, we try to sitting, and the beauty about what your conversation is what you tell, what you ask, and she come out with a clear idea. And thank you to really beautiful your question, and now with this question, I think to myself too,
Thanks, Jacopo. And Heather, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I was just going to say what I realized about that was that I don't know the answers to those questions because she was answering them so fast. I was still trying to process and we were moving on. So I really need to reflect and think about it for myself.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that, Heather. That's a really vulnerable, authentic thing to say that many people on the call might also have experienced. You know, I've done so many coaching calls that I can just move through the questions very quickly without having really any notes or anything. And yet to experience a coaching experience 101 can be imagined. I mean, you know, I'm a coach. I have 3 coaches. My recommendation for everybody is to have a coach because I get stuck in my stuff. I can see someone else's stuff in a conversation and help them move forward, but I can't do it. Can't do it for myself. So I have coaches because I get stuck myself. Ruth said, when I was a fitness instructor, the accountability was the most important to help reach the goal. We needed to be reminded to see your goal. So Curtis.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna, Deb, I just wanted to pipe up for 1 second. Of course, you know what I'd noticed, and you guys both did a great job, and thanks so much to the volunteer. You know what I heard, and we often experience, it's not, you know, because I heard it the other day. I just want to share. It's not that we lack the motivation, we lack the clarity, right? We just lack clarity. We lack clarity around either what it is that we want, or we don't have a clearly defined plan, right? And oftentimes, so she knew what she wanted. And so in your conversation, she knew what she wanted. She knew why she wanted it. She just wasn't clear on the plan. There were bits and pieces, and that was great. But I think there needs to be more clarity around the plan, right? And then, you know, because then it needs to be measurable, actionable, you know, things that we know or believe.
Tom, you're not muted. Tom, thanks.
Thanks. Anyway,
I have no idea what that was.
Yeah, well, whatever, Tom. We're gonna yell at you later. But the thing is it needs to be, you know, clearly defined, actionable items that we can, of course, then measure, right? Because if that goal is important and you want to make sure that you get there, you know, we can measure those things, right? And so anyway, that I just want to say great job to both of you guys. And again, when we're talking to people, typically it's clarity around a plan. So anyway.
So let me ask you, Curtis, what can agents on the call do in order to get better at that?
Well, I'm so glad. Hire a coach. No, not selling coaching. But here's the deal. Listen, folks, you know, you've heard from us before, and Deb's got her background up there. Listen, we created Grit for that very reason, to help agents with a plan moving forward. And, you know, if you're not sure what it is, listen, I'll give you the skinny on a lot of it. Yes, there's going to be some accountability to it. Yes, we're going to talk about difference between database and CRM because we believe that agents lack clarity around those types of things. The other thing is marketing. We talk about marketing in there, right? And because we've identified that agents struggle with marketing and having their telephones ring, right? We also created the 30 hard, which of course, getting into action with that. Gosh, it's 30 days to a 6-figure pipeline. Who doesn't want that? Right? Like seriously. So a whole bunch of things. Now, here's what we've done. Here's the big one. We all got together, DJ, myself, Deb, Tom. If you're still unsure, listen, while we'd like you to go ahead and register for the entire thing, commit to that as much as you are committed to your families and to your businesses. We've offered now, you can come to the first day for free. You can come for free. Check it out. See if it's right for you. But we will help you design that plan. In fact, we've laid one out that you can take, implement, and if you do, you'll get exactly that of what you want. Oh, thank you. So just put in the chat box. There's a registration. You'll see the 2 little buttons. One says free first day. And the other one says, full registration. So it's www.agentgrowthinstitute.com/grit. And of course, as always, invite your friends, your peers, anyone else. So they're all more than welcome to come as well. I would like to open it up to any questions, unless Debbie or DJ, if you got anything to add, I'd love to open it up to answer any questions if anybody has any.
I have a question, Coach.
Yes.
So if we have people that have never experienced coaching before, how can we help them determine whether they need a mentor, whether they need training, and what is the right coach for their business?
Wow.
Great question, Claire. You hit it. I've been thinking that.
Wow.
Thank you for asking.
Deb, you want to field that one?
I'm
I've
happy
got
to
it.
field that one.
Huh?
I'm happy to field that one. And here's the answer, and it's probably not the answer that you want. They need all of it. They need all of it. They need training,
Awesome.
right? They need specific skills, and that can be done by official programs that teach you a specific skill. Like, for instance, Darenika should get together either with someone that's making expired call or into some sort of expired training program, right? So that she can develop that skill and have a little bit of accountability around doing that. Does she need a mentor that potentially has done expired calls that she can ask specific questions to? And yet the third part of that is a coach, and a coach works on mindset, action plans, and it's not training or mentorship. It's about helping you move forward. And so in my mind, you need all three. You need to develop your skill, need a mentor that's going to help you move forward with that skill. And then you need a coach to help you find out what's getting in the way. Because, by the way, the reason I got a coach is because I made a goal and then I wasn't taking action. And I need a coach to help flesh out what's stopping me or getting in the way. Is it a lack of clarity? Is it a lack of motivation? Is it a lack of skill? Or is it a lack of time blocking? What is it specifically?
So Coach Debbie, that was the whole reason why that I said this question, and this is the reason why. From the first time that I participated in Grit, it clarified all three of those for me. So if you're needing clarity on that, the most cost-effective, most beneficial to your business is to invest in Grit and move your business forward. So it was a loaded question. Just saying, because I love Grit and it helps clarify all three of those. So thank you, Coach Deb, Coach DJ, and Coach Curtis. Y'all are the best.
Thanks for throwing the softball. I didn't realize that's the answer. But hey, listen, guess who's taken Grit and has signed up again? Claire.
I was just going to ask Claire.
She signed up again. Because you know what? We're never there. We're never done. We always need to get better. For those that you took Grit before, I'm going to ask you a question that may be difficult to hear, which is, how are you doing with the 30 hard, right? And that was a action-based strategy for building your business. And I know from experience that in a focused mentor training and coaching program, we'll get into action. And like all of us, we get busy afterwards and we trickle off.
Yes, the coach. Here's the greatest part of it. So I know from being a part of the old KW, your time and Curtis's time would have cost me in excess of $1,500 a month. So here's the thing. Grit is how much? And I get you for how many weeks? I'm sorry, but I'll use the word, I'm greedy. I want to be in front of y'all. I want to hear what you're saying, doggone it. And that is a cost-effective benefit for our businesses and a huge return on investment. So thank you yet again. You should charge more. Just saying. However, I appreciate y'all.
We will be charging more each time. Thank you, Claire. We've raised it from the last time. We've raised it a small amount because we understand the market we're going into. It will not be this price again, ever.
Hey, Claire, can you give clarity here? you mentioned the word mentor. And in the world of EXP, newer agents understand mentor to be one thing. And in this conversation, it definitely is something else. So why don't we get some clarity there?
Would you like me to clarify what a mentor is to me? Because
Absolutely.
everybody's definition of a mentor is different. For me in my business, a mentor is someone who is spiritually fit so that anytime I bring them something, they can lead me through my own stumbling block. Okay. A mentor has to do with my mentation portion of my vernacular and business. Okay. A mentor is not a trainer. A mentor is not feeding me baby food. A mentor is allowing this time and space to stay growing. Okay. Different than a coach. A coach allows me to self-aware what needs to go on in my business. A mentor helps me understand the reasons why, by example, because they are a mentor. They're helping me understand reasons that I'm not doing what I'm doing. However, the coach can get me to where I need to be to do the things that I need to do. A trainer's going to tell me what needs to happen. A mentor shows by example and leads by their example. A coach allows me to go internal to self-aware, the small subtle cues and changes that need to be made so that I can keep on that track to where I want to be. Claire?
So your mentor doesn't leave after 3 transactions?
No.
Just want to make sure everyone is clear about this, because in EXP, unfortunately, they use that term.
Yeah. Well, when you look at mentorship and you look at coaching, and Robert, great point, because if you care about people, it's not about the 3 transactions, it's about the growth, right? So I can mentor a lot of people. I can only coach a few, right?
So the mentorship program within EXP is helping someone through 3 transactions. It's leading them through 3 transactions. It's not doing the 3 transactions for them. So I believe, just like you believe, Pierre, that we can't spoon feed those people. We lead them. And Lizette yesterday on a call gave me the biggest ahas about our mentorship program. Lead them to links that they can go and learn their skills. However, we're there to watch over them as mentors and help them through their subtle corrections that need to happen so that they can get past the 3 transactions. Please understand, everybody's definition of what a mentor is totally different.
Yeah, at 100%.
I see.
Can I add something to that?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that in my world, a mentor is someone that has done what you are learning to do and is walking you through those steps to get comfortable with doing what you're supposed to do. A trainer is someone that has a specific skill that they are teaching you to take into your world and take it in and work on that, right? A coach actually doesn't ever have to have done what you do. I coach companies that I've never done. I coach insurance companies. I'm not an insurance agent. It's all about the numbers. It's all about doing what you say you're going to do. And coaching is holding you accountable to the expectations you have of yourself. And it's not an emotional relationship. It is strictly a professional relationship to get you where you want to go. And it has nothing to do with my skills or my background, right? And so as a coach, that's what I would say to you. For the coach, it's all about the numbers. With the others, it's about the training and the learning. My opinion.
Perfect.
Love that, DJ. I see Krista's hand is up.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, so I was gonna say, this was a really powerful Zoom call. I love that. I'm gonna send it to all of my people that I see are not here today, unfortunately, right? So, I've been in the business 18 years. I have a business coach. I have what I call a mentor. I don't have a mentor per se, but I look for people that are doing higher level things than I am, and I'm asking questions. But I don't expect them to give me their playbook and tell me, okay, Krista, now you wake up at 8:30, you're going to do this and this and this, and now you're going to be successful. I mean, we can have a mentor, a coach, a business plan, but if you are not accountable to yourself and become that person that you say you want to be, no coaching, no mentorship, no business plan will get you there. So I think a lot of people feel like, I'm going to have this playbook and all of a sudden I'm going to be successful. But if you are not responsible for your own actions and yourself, I think, and that's where people say, oh, this didn't work. Grit didn't work. Or, your mentorship, you're a bad mentor. Or, just become resourceful and become accountable to yourself. That was my little rant here.
Krista, that was awesome. Krista has amazing accountability to herself first, and then, to her goals, obviously. She's committed. And it was great seeing you this week as well.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you as well.
Yeah, thank you, Krista. I just wanted to add one thing, going back to the mentor thing, not to get in the weeds with it or whatever, but I think everybody on here has the responsibility to become a mentor to someone else at some point. So as you excel through your careers, you bring people on, potentially to EXP, you grow a team, whatever it happens to be. I think if we are to, practice what we preach is by providing value and inviting people and doing all the things, we have this responsibility to all be mentors at some point. So anyway.
Love it. All right, guys, it is 9:36. We've had, this was an amazing call. I appreciate everybody that stayed on and contributed. Debbie, Curtis, DJ, Claire, everyone that participated. Liz, thank you guys for a highly successful call. And hopefully that it made an impact on you today and that you got some golden nuggets. You have the link for the free first step as well. This is critical. Moving into, if you're on a train tracks in your vehicle and that train's coming, what the heck are you going to do? Sit there and wait for it to smash you? Or are you going to move and take action and hit that darn gas and get out of the way? This is the time to hit the gas, get into this program, because 2023 will smash you if you're not prepared for it. Guarantee it. It is out there, it's happening. Don't ignore it. If you ignore it, you will be blasted on the side. So
Tom, real quick, okay, Coach Curtis, Coach Debbie, and Coach DJ and I had a goal to have 150 people on this call this morning. I fell short.
Yes, we hit 97.
Actually,
no, that has her hand up. So
98 for 1 minute. So
Okay.
I think that means I win.
Well, we exceeded what DJ said anyway. So
Hey,
now that
Kenya,
you got-
congrats. Hey, Kenya just registered. Congrats. We're happy to see you there. Good job.
Awesome. Now that you've committed to this call and you've got the golden nuggets, invite one person to next week's call, by the way.
There you go.
Guys, thank you for your time. Now I turn it over to Joe and the after party.
Hold on, Lizette had her hand up for a second there.
I always forget Lizette. I'm kidding.
No, I know. I have like, it feels like family now when we're with each other. It's really is like that for me. No, I just wanted to share that quickly. I actually called an agent. He's not with this company, and he's a great lister. And I actually went to shadow him on Wednesday. And it was a very, you were talking about that, Deb, and I did that for 4 hours. And let me tell you, I got out of there like, wow, like he's like, and he started at 8 o'clock in the morning, the calls all the way up to 12. And then he has them separated, just listed past, whatever, these lists of how he's prospecting listings. And I love the fact that he's like, oh, look, it's 10 o'clock. Nobody's in the office yet. And I've already have 3 leads for listings. And he tries to close them over the phone right then and there. And I was like, he's like, if I wanted to, the key thing for me was if I wanted to, I could leave at 12. And I said, wow, if I wanted to, I could do the same and leave at 12. I'm just putting it out there, people. You know, it is possible to do this business. And by the way, he makes $100,000 a month in commission. His price points are 700,000 and up.
And
Oh,
2
and then
years
another
ago-
thing he said, one more thing, he also said, I don't talk to people that don't make over 6 figures. He didn't mean it like literally, he just meant like he doesn't hang out. And I was like, well, am I in that club? I'm here. I mean, I do, but what I mean is it's just eye-opening, but go ahead, Tom, sorry.
2 years ago, he was starting out and barely doing 10 transactions a year, guys. Seriously.
Yeah, Tom knows who I'm talking about because I tell him everything I do. And
What
so
I
he-
love is that you went and found your solution, Lizette. You said, I want to become a better lister. I'm going to go find somebody that's doing what I'm doing. I'm going to ask them. And maybe he would have said no, and you would have had to ask 10 more people. But if you keep going, you'll find someone that says, yeah, you can come shadow me, right? There's a lot of kind agents. I know we all say that the agents out there are so mean and so difficult. There's a lot of great agents that are willing to share what they're doing and help other people get better. And I love that you're so learning based and you're like, look, I want to become a better lister. I don't think I have all the skills. I'm going to go watch somebody that's doing what I want to do. And let me ask you, did you take away some ahas from that, Lizette?
Oh my gosh, a lot, like the scripts. I mean, this guy has them internalized and I'm like, God, goodness. A lot. I can't even begin. He actually, his office is right across the street from another agent called Milton James, I think his name is. He's a great lister too. And
I
he's
thought you were
selling-
talking about Milton this whole time. I was just gonna message you and ask you, like, I think he had 100 listing yesterday.
And like he's talking about how he messages him. They talk to each other. Their offices are right across the street, different companies. But I can tell there's like a whole intention of everything. Everything is so, I mean, I was just, yes, I could go on and on and on because it was just amazing. But you know what? I went there, I was quiet. I didn't talk. I love to talk. I stay quiet. I just listened and just let him talk. He talked the whole time. So reach out, people.
Michelle had her hand up.
Hi, yes, good morning. What I'm just worried about is I do want to do grit. I'm going to sign up for it. But on Thursdays is like my really full scheduled day at the restaurant. So I have to be there at 11 to 4 o'clock and I come back on at 4:30 till who knows when, and we're getting ready to go into season. Can someone like me keep up and do it? I mean, if I just put my head down, I mean, I'll do it, but am I going to get, I don't want to get lost or I don't want to get left behind because of my Thursday workload with my side hustle.
It's all recorded too.
Deb, you frozen?
No, you can tell, you have you can speak.
You looked frozen. I'm not sure.
We're going on vacation during that time and I'm going to actually go through the recording. We're doing things too. It's possible.
Okay.
Yeah. So
right,
Michelle,
thank you.
here's the other thing. What time do you have to leave for your job? Because it starts at 9:30. So
I have to-
9:30, 10:30.
Yeah, I just have to get on the road by 10:30. I just live 20 minutes from work.
So you'll catch the first hour. Make sure that on Thursday mornings, you're prepared before grit starts to at least grab the first hour. That way you're getting half of it. And then then there's only another hour that you got to catch up on, but you'll be fine.
Okay, thank you.
You know what you can do? You know what I do too when I'm like in between meetings and I drive to the place beforehand and I do the meeting in the car. I use the Wi-Fi wherever I'm at on my phone. I have Wi-Fi on my phone and I do so I'm there. You know, I do it all the time with Tom's meetings and things like that when I can't drive and have to be somewhere, you know, because I have to, right? You gotta make it work.
Great. Thank you guys.
Okay, if we don't have any other questions, then I'm going to go ahead and stop the live, stop the